Tell you something else. There's a lot to be said for making people laugh. Did you know that's all some people have? It isn't much, but it's better than nothing in this cockeyed caravan.
Woo-wee! Hey folks, I'm here in the old Sanctuary Target parking lot. It is Saturday evening, but no, I am not drunk. I haven't had a drink all week actually, but I shouldn't speak too soon because I am going out tonight, so I don't plan on drinking. But we got to talk about the week. Monday night, I went to this open mic. But before we get to that, for some reason, the last episode of JoshCast, it's still getting views. It's weird. It's like it's in the thing, I don't know what's called, the algorithm where YouTube gets you views. I don't know what I did differently, but it's up to like 120 something views. I'm not sure if it's the same people clicking on it or someone shared it somewhere or what the hell's happening, but I guess that's cool. And did a prank call show this week on Thursday. Shout out to Random TV for giving me the idea to call comic book stores and say nerd. I was just going to call some Craigslist numbers and some stores, and the episode would not have been as good without that idea. And that's pretty much that. So let's talk about the week. Monday, I went to this open mic in New Hope with the Cookie. She drove me over there. It's a music comedy open mic. This female comic, Cynthia, was nice enough to sign us in. She's a friend of ours. Pretty much, we were third and fourth, which is really hard spots to get. And that fan was there from Last Comic Standing. Have you guys ever watched the show Last Comic Standing where he was the winner? He's an Asian comedian. That fan. And so I get in there, and he's there with his wife, who's also a comedian. They're traveling from Los Angeles, and they moved to the East Coast recently. So I meet him for a second. I go, hey, he goes, hey, Dad. He didn't give me a handshake. He gave me a fist bump. So he knows the Cookie because she won the comedy contest the week before. So they were talking and stuff, and he invited her to the Zoom mic thing. I had the tacos there for the first time. The tacos, they wrapped it up. It was like a soft shell wrapped in a hard shell. It was kind of weird. It gives them tortilla chips. And I couldn't eat the tortilla chips because, it was so loud. But when I got on stage, I brought a tortilla chip up with me. And that was my opener, and I crunched it, and I told the audience to do it, and they did it too. So that was pretty much, as far as the Cookie and I went up, we both had decent sets. We got some chuckles, but there was only one table in the back that looked like they were an audience. They were there to see somebody, and it was mostly comics. That fan went up. He's an experienced guy. He's been doing comedy for probably 20, 30 years, and I thought he was funny. His Asian voice is dead on because he's Asian, And it was weird to see that fan at a comedy open mic because I used to watch him on TV. So to see that, if you would have told me I would have been performing an open mic with this guy, 15, 16, 17 years later, I would have been like, that's weird. So that was Monday night. And then Wednesday night, I went to the Royal. I was going to go to this Jersey open mic with the Cookie, but they hate me over there. I used to be a regular. I said uppity Negro on stage. There were a bunch of white pussies. They got offended by it. They thought the blacks were going to riot the room. I didn't assume that. They're the ones that are racist, not me. But anyways, so the Wednesday, I went to the music comedy open mic called The Royal. I got there early, so I stopped at this pizza place. I won't say the name to get a pizza. I was out to get a pizza. It was $10 for a small pizza and $14 for a medium pizza. So I said, all right, it's like $7.20. I'll get a medium pizza. So I order it. The stupid kid puts the order in. Next thing you know, I got to get there around like 7:30 to sign up. So it's like 7:32. He gets the pizza out of the oven. And he puts it in the box, and he just starts talking on the phone to his friend, like, yo, what's up? And I'm standing there, like pacing back and forth, like, come on, give me my pizza. Finally, this Mexican guy cuts my pizza and gives it to me. And I go, thanks, because I parked my car at the church. It's a weird parking yuppie area. And I had to walk like 2 blocks up. So I get there like 7:35. There was 2 numbers on the table. They have a weird lottery system. I picked number 14. And within 3 or 4 spots, they called my number. So I signed up first. Dan Wolf was there, who comes to my open mic, middle-aged, dirty comedian, pervert guy. And he gave me a copy of his book, which I skimmed through, some funny stuff in there. Daniel Wolf, check him out, guys. And so I went on first. I didn't bomb. I did better than last time, but I wasn't great either. I didn't write a set out. I pretty much did some jokes I did on Monday night. I talked about how, blacks loot Wawas and how they, and how pretty much they don't tip and everything. And that pretty much made the room quiet. But what are you going to do? So that was Wednesday night. And then Thursday night, the next night, I went to this open mic with the Cookie called Sadie's. It's pretty much a place that should not have comedy. It's a bar in Bristol. And pretty much the Cookie was having a bad day. So I said, look, let's go there. I'll bring my kale wig. And we'll get silly tonight. And she gave me a gold chain to go along with it and my glasses. And we'll have some fun. We'll do some karaoke. We'll have fun. She goes, okay, let's go. So we get there at 8:30. And as soon as we get there, the host, usually he makes us wait. He was desperate. He had no performance. He's like, hey, guys, where you been? Come on, yeah, you guys can go up right now if you want. We need to take a break. Come on, you want to go up? And we're like, we just got here. So we waited about 10, 15 minutes. The Cookie went up first. She was doing her thing. She was getting last. But then everybody started talking. Everybody just starts talking. And then eventually she starts having conversations with people. Like, it's not even comedy because everybody was talking. So she does like 10, 15 minutes. And then I go to take a pee. And then she brings me up as Kel McStooge. And I have the whole set recorded. And pretty much, long story short, there was a guy who works there who's the brother of the host. He gets pissed off at me. And he wants to fight me. Now, here's what happened. So he starts heckling me. He's like, he says something about one of my jokes. And he goes, no, I made it funny. And I was like, well, if you want to make it funny, why don't you take your pants off? Right? I was just goofing around. I don't know the size of this guy's dick. I don't care. I'm just joking around. And he's like, hey, man, I'm not the guy to mess with when it comes to that. Don't go there. In my head, I'm like, so you're pretty much admitting to the room you have a small wiener. Why would you get mad at that? He said something about my mom. He said, I was with your mom last night before that. And you guys know I don't care much. Not to say I don't care about my mom, but I don't care if someone talks about my mom, some stupid old mama joke. But he said something about my mom. And then, all I did was make a small wiener joke about him. And he goes, I'm not the guy to mess with. And then this stupid bartender, I told the Cookie to shut up because she said something like, move on or something. And I was joking around. I was in character. I was like, shut up, Cookie. And then the bartender goes, did you tell him to shut up? I guess that's your boyfriend. I said, no, I wasn't talking to you. I wasn't talking to him. I was talking to her. So it got really uncomfortable. And then I bring this woman up who was there. She said, oh, you funny? I bet I'm funnier than you. And I said, yeah, I bet you are funnier than me. Come up here. Do some jokes. Come on. We'll do a two-man show thing. So she grabs the other microphone, and we start doing a two-person show, kind of like what the Cookie and I used to do, except no jokes. And then eventually the host goes, all right, that's enough. Let's get back to the music. And the whole bar cheered, like, yay, because they want us off stage. So I'm thinking about doing a JoshCast bonus episode where I play the whole set, which I usually don't do, because it's not me anyways. It's me doing a character. And it's not a great set. I mean, I'm getting heckled. This transgender guy, he looks like it's Pat with fucking diabetes gout, was heckling me, him and his lesbian friend. And he's the guy in the video. I said, if you watch the video, if I play it, he said something to me, and I said, yeah, your mustache was on my balls. And he said, you wish. And I said, well, let me keep my fantasies to myself. So maybe I'll play that. So that was last night. And then pretty much tonight, I'm not sure what the plan is, but the Cookie and I, we're going to try to go somewhere tonight. I don't know where. We're going to either go to this meetup group and hang out with this guy, Paul the Pun Guy, what I talked about the last episode. This guy does puns. He's not a comedian. Or we're going to just do some bar hopping or check out a band tonight. And then we're going to do the after coverage, I guess, after that, if I can remember. We're talking about the next segment. But, folks, that's pretty much it for the week. I did get on stage 3 times this week. But, all 3 times were just, especially Thursday. I mean, the one at that Bristol mic, I don't know why I decided to go back there. I should have went to the Jersey open mic at the coffee shop, but, I couldn't get a ride from anybody, and it's kind of far, but man, oh man, it was a clusterfuck. And then Monday was okay. I got some chuckles. And Wednesday I got some chuckles, but I don't feel good at all. You would think, wow, you got on stage 3 times this week. That's awesome. I don't feel good at all. None of those sets were great. And I suck, folks. I just suck. Well, anyways, this podcast sucks. This is the first but yet worst comedy podcast in Philly. It's your favorite podcast that most people do not listen to. And I'm guessing I'm going to talk about what happened tonight on the way back, drive home, and then we get to your least favorite segment, the Odd News. All right, before we get to the Odd News, as far as last night goes, I went to this place called the Buck Hotel with the Cookie. She was part of this meetup group, or she met with these people. This guy, Paul the Pun Guy, was there. There was a band called Something Francis, like 10 people in the band. We were there for about an hour, and it was an older crowd, and people were having fun, and then we left, and I was like, well, that's it. Had a Diet Coke. I didn't drink all this week, and, well, that's it. And it was a decent night. And now it's time to get to the odd news. Naked man arrested for breaking into a cram school, also involved in traffic accidents. Cram school? I guess they shoved him in. I don't know. Sharks draw a crowd who swarm with them off Israel's coast until one man disappeared. No. Japan is celebrating middle-aged men with collectible cards now. Yeah, I guess that's an old collection of them. Dubai chocolate caused international shortage. They're not giving me a lot here for this this odd news segment I used to do, folks. I used to get my little weird stuff from. There's one more site to go to. Former Disney worker charged with 3 years for hacking into park menus and changing allergen information. Park menus. I guess he can stay still. I don't know. Teacher charged with trespassing after showing up to students announced for homework assignment. Pedophile. Army suspends base commanders after Trump portrait was flipped to wall. I guess she went balls to the wall on that one. Yeah. Man unwittingly buys back his own $20,000 Euro car after it was stolen weeks before. So he was able to get it back for $20,000. Now he's $20,000 down. And, I don't know. Paralyzed man cleared from kicking in door. An Uber drove away with her kid. Then the Uber went unconnected when police were the driver. I guess that guy was trying to be his own boss. Heads with orders makeup studio installed at a Pentagon. Man buys a World War I shipwreck for $400 on Facebook Marketplace. Someone selling a whole ship for $400. That's a score. Sounds like it'd be a lot more than that. Yeah, I guess that guy was on deck. Get it? On deck? That was alright. U.S. YouTuber remains in custody in India after visiting restricted island with a Diet Coke can. Let's see if there's anything else. ARN radio station CADA called out for failing to disclose AI host. Texas man arrested in mother's fatal beating in her bedroom. It was an exorcism, he says. Yeah, I guess he was the ghost of violent jerk. That was terrible. Andy Warhol artwork may be thrown out in Dutch town hall revamp. Historians dispute BX tapestry penis tally after lengthy debate. Yeah, I guess they were going inch by inch on that one, but Salsa Gate lawsuit in Washington country ends with $950,000 settlement for an ex-deputy. That sounds really mild. Get it? Chunky, mild. Giant prehistoric kangaroos preferred to chill at home and didn't like to go out much. Yeah, I guess kangaroos like to just pouch it out at home. Man swings an edge at a crane in downtown Austin. NOAA needs help identifying a car in World War II shipwreck. I think that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. They don't give you as much as they used to. There's a subreddit where people submit their weird things that they find, but most people don't like to listen to this segment anyways. It's the least favorite segment of the show, which is not saying much. But yeah, that's it. So folks, I'll see you guys in the next one. You just listened to How Do You Go Freak Yourself, Cuffy.